I've talked about how I'm in therapy. I've been in therapy for many years now. I think in 5 years total so far, I've been in an active therapy, and before that, I had a sprinkling of therapy, but it took me time to find a therapist that I felt I could trust and that worked with my personality. And I know that mental health accessibility and affordability is kind of a place of privilege. I have learned that mental health is just as equally important as our physical health. And it's not something that should be brushed off. It's not something that should be ashamed of or thought of in a negative manner. And I had those feelings kind of pop up for me very recently. When I had my second opinion with the doctor, he suggested that I also see the psychiatrist on staff who works with patients going through the diagnosis process for MS. And I bristled a little bit at it at first because I have a therapist I feel very comfortable with, and it's daunting to have to talk about all of the things. And also I don't ever want to feel like my symptoms are being attributed to anxiety or depression. But the goal is not to attribute that. The goal is to help me with this transition of such a heavy diagnosis. And so I agreed to it, and I met with the psychiatrist, and she was really, really helpful, and she was very validating. But when I talked to my partner about it, I asked him not to tell anyone that I had met with a psychiatrist because I had like this weird moment of shame pop up. And I didn't want to have to deal with like the judgment of other people knowing I had met with a psychiatrist. And I didn't want to have to deal with people probing into my mental health. My mental health has been really rough. I have definitely been on the struggle bus for my depression, and it's been hard. Knowing that so much life change is happening in such a small amount of time is hard to deal with. It's hard to put it all into one basket and say, here you go, carry this and deal with it.